Hello everyone, I wanted to share with you a faculty salary sheet that I created in the Department of Leadership and Educational Studies several years ago. I've tweaked this over time so that it will be beneficial for me when we get that last minute call to calculate salary increases for faculty. So this has taken a while to tweak. It's still not exactly where I wanted it, but this will give you a starting place if you want to take a copy of this and modify it with your faculty. This is a Google Sheet, so you can simply go up to File, make a copy, and then just put in your first name, last name, and starting salaries for your individuals and tweak some of the column headings here. So I've created this in such a way that any area that is in green is where you would input data. So if you're giving flat increases here, you would just simply enter in the dollar amount that you'd like to provide for this individual faculty members. If you're doing it across the board, you can adjust the percentage there. So I've included a 1% increase here for faculty. If I wanted this to be a 2% increase, simply do that. It calculates that for you. Most of us will not be doing across the board percentage increase, but sometimes it's mandated. So that's why I included that there. So it's an option. So, if you get a 4% increase and you know that everybody in your department is going to get 2%, this might be an easy way for you to do that and then adjust the flat rate. If you have an individual faculty member that you wanted to, adjust for inflation, compression, something of that nature, I provide the ability to create a percentage for that particular person too. So this one happens to be a 1% increase, but if I wanted to make that a 2% increase for that individual, it would automatically calculate that for you. So again, I've tried to do this and give myself as many options in adjusting as I go. And it will give me the total percentage of the increase for the merit percent increase, the total increase for the individual across for each one of these. So a flat increase of 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 500 is 2,500. That equates to 5% of their total salary. So here's the salary. And if they're receiving a promotion and tenure increase, we can build that in and calculate that. And it gives you the across the board total percent of increase here. Also include years of service. Again, one-stop shopping for salary increase information so that I can quickly look and see, well, this person's been here 1 year, 2 years, or so forth, their hire date, how many years that they've been at the rank. Which is important when you're looking at some of those salaries. So if you have someone who's been a full professor for 5 years as opposed to someone that's been a full professor for 20 years, if you're looking at compression, that might be useful information. And then special notes. So if you notice that you have a compression case and you give that person more of an increase, you can note that. Also, if someone's on administrative release, that's not necessarily built into their base salary when you get that from the dean's office sometimes, so I include those notations here as well. So again, how this works, if I come in here to user 1, I want to give this person or provide a salary increase of $1,500 to that person, I simply type it in. If I wanted to do increase for the entire group, if I want to do $1,500, I simply highlight that, go down the entire row of faculty members, and I can do a command or a control D, and that will change that. You'll notice that your total increase and your percentages will change there. Typically what I did is, if we're given an allocation of 3.9%, I would figure out what that dollar rate is. I would put that in to see what a ballpark would be. So if it's 3.9%, modify that. Now it gives me an idea of where folks should be on that level, and then I can tweak the amounts in the flat rate. Again, depending on what the instructions are, you may have to approach this completely different. I ended up using typically the flat rate increase, typically for most folks, just so I'd have more flexibility in adjusting for individual faculty members. So again, you can determine that whatever meets your needs first. One thing I failed to mention early on, if you scroll down here, so you'll include your total allocation amount here. So as you're approaching that amount, it will give you the plus minus. So I still have $63,515 that I can allocate. So if I give this person, let's say I give them a $70,000 increase, now you'll see that I'm in the hole. So again, it calculates that, lets you know how much money is remaining in your budget allocation so that you can adjust these accordingly. And as you get close to using your allocation, you may have to tweak some of these and give one faculty member a couple of $100 more than the others and balance that out over time. But again, it's just a way for me to easily look at my allocation, distribution, and so forth and so on. Another important factor that I started including here is in columns D through H. These are scores that I provide for evaluations. I'm not evaluations, but annual reviews for the faculty members. If we scroll down here, you'll see that I've assigned scores. So if someone receives and exceeds on an annual review, they get 3 points. If they give a meets, it's 2 points. Does not meet is 1 point. So I add up the teaching, scholarship, and service scores, add those aggregate scores here so that I can quickly and easily look at those. I earmark some of these with an asterisk, so if there's a special situation, if they're on, say if someone was on a leave, OCSA or something for half a semester, I would note that and put notes down below. Also medical leaves, things of that nature, or it might note that there's a disciplinary action and things of that nature. So I utilize the asterisk to say, hey, there's a special situation related to this, because typically what I would do is I would print this sheet out and meet with my dean to go over my plan for salary increases and make sure she's aware of how and why I made the allocations that I did for faculty members in my department. So again, utilize this if you want to. Phase retirees, I included a section down here for those folks. Again, that's a different allocation pool. But again, feel free to play around with it, make a copy of it, play with the numbers. If you find that there are issues with it, I can simply walk you through. I did add comments in particular areas that you see. So if you have issues, you can take a look at that. But this is a quick and easy way that I utilized a technology to help me with salaries, so that when those things come out on a Thursday and you have to have them completed on a Monday, I simply go through and start tweaking the numbers with the allocation that I'm given. And then what I will do is, for like next year, we didn't have increases in 2018, but had I, what I've done is created a new spreadsheet or new tab, a new sheet here, and then I just pulled in the 2018-19 pulled in from the other sheet, and then I can start from there. And start with the next year. Again, feel free to modify this, tweak this as you wish. But again, this is just how I have done this in the past, and it saved me a lot of time. So reach out, let me know if you have questions, let me know if you have improvements, so forth and so on. All right, take care.